Lenses. Especially Sony lenses. Man, most of them are either heavy AF on the pricey side or on the weight side. But there's always this one lens in every manufacturer's range that gets either overlooked or just completely ignored. In this case, the same happened to the Sony 50mm f1.8. I actually ordered this lens 2 years ago, directly when getting the Alpha 6000 for roughly 300 euros, and after using it on 2 separate shoots, I was massively disappointed. The autofocus in combination with the Alpha 6000 was really unusable. Let's call it terrible. It was loud, it hunted like it was out to shoot some deer. And if you are also out there actually hunting for something new, then consider clicking on the like and subscribe button. Ooh, that was terrible. I actually sent it back immediately. And now, 2 years later, I got the Alpha 6100 and saw the 50mm for 130 euros on sale. That's half the price I paid 2 years earlier. After getting it, I updated the lens to its newest firmware and tada! Now this is a lens you can actually work with, not only in photos but also in video. And if you're actually wondering why it looks so weird, I added step-up rings to all my lenses so that I only have to buy one set of ND, UVs or my black bromist filter sets. What have I actually learned from using this lens for the last month on all my videos? Let's start with the negatives here first, since these are actually fewer points than I imagined. The autofocus is still not completely silent, but it's a lot less noticeable than the first time I used it. If you're filming yourself with the distance needed to actually get into frame, you actually cannot hear the autofocus at all. It's still a very lightweight lens. I know this sounds weird that this is a negative for me, but I like my lenses to be weighty, so that when I shoot handheld footage, they are less prone to shakiness and jitters. And now let's have a look at the positives, of which there are actually plenty. First of all, the autofocus has become much better, which means faster as well as smoother overall. You can now reliably shoot video, as well as make some focus plane shifts without it looking unnatural or distracting. What I've noticed is that the motor inside the lens is constantly shifting to still hold the focus, and you can actually notice that in the background of your shots when you have longer takes. But it's nothing that distracts or ruins your shots. The autofocus is actually now very good for such a cheap lens. The lens itself is sharp enough, and its focus distance is also very close for a 50mm lens, so that you can take some nice looking B-roll shots with it, especially when you use something like macro extension tubes. Oh, and if you'd like to use it in manual mode, you can of course do that as well. The focus ring is very smooth and rotates through infinity. I also really like the bokeh it creates, especially when you are shooting multi-layered shots. What I mean with multi-layered is separating your primary object, in that case you or something else, from a foreground as well as from a background, to give it this snapshot feeling that I like the most, not only in photo but also in video. And the 50mm on the APS-C camera actually becomes more like a 75mm lens. It looks beautiful, especially when you bring movement into it. The shift between the background and the foreground feels massive, even though there's only a small move in the end. As you may have recognized, I changed my opinion on the lens, well, completely. I might even consider myself a fan of the lens now. Not only is this a very well priced lens, but also something you should consider as one of your first prime lenses when you are actually shooting, filming inside the Sony ecosystem for the very first time. So, Thank you very much for watching. My name was Leech and I'm off writing the next script. Have a great day and well, I guess we'll see us in the next one. Until then, goodbye.